Plant a tree and watch it grow. Plant a tree and watch it grow. Time may come and time may go, but that tree will grow and grow.
You know, if you're a landowner and you own just a few acres or a few hundred acres, well, this video's for you. Hello, I'm Paul Lott, and I'm standing on a little piece of Mississippi that I own, and you know, I'm just like you. I want to be a good steward of this land so that the generations that follow me, my children and grandchildren, well, they can derive money from this timber here, or they can enjoy hunting and fishing, the recreation, or just enjoy the beauty of this little piece of nature.
Today, we're talking about forest stewardship, putting together a comprehensive planned approach and managing your land for greater profit, better hunting, recreation, or all of the above.
Mississippi is blessed with a diverse and abundant natural resources. From the Mississippi Gulf Coast to the Tennessee line, forest resources abound in Mississippi, representing the state's largest single land use, covering more than 19.8 million acres.
Most of this timber resources is owned by the non-industrial private landowner, over 70%, while the remaining ownership is owned by timber industry, local, state, and federal governments.
Whether you have a small wooded lot or a large tree farm, we're going to show you how good forest stewardship and good business practices go hand in hand. The good news is that these goals can be achieved at the same time. And by following some basic time-tested principles, you can have a healthier forest, improve the ecological impact of your land, and you could sell your wood for higher prices if your timber is certified. Forest stewardship and tree farming go hand in hand.
Participants in Mississippi's Forest Stewardship Program derive many benefits from the active management of their timberland. These benefits include improved management of their timber, enhanced wildlife management for the species they want to manage for, recreational opportunities, and a cleaner water supply for everyone.
This program promotes sustainability. If we do the right things for this forest now, our grandchildren and our great-great-great-grandchildren will be able to come to these woods and enjoy all the same wonderful benefits that we did.
Hopefully we're going to motivate you to action. And we're going to talk to some folks that have been real pleased with this program.
It is very important that we teach the next generations of landowners. After I became a grandparent and spending time with my granddaughter, I would carry her out into the woods and she would ask me about various type trees, and she asked me, well, Papa, what are the trees good for? I said, well, think about it. I said, what you use, paper? So you're in school, you use paper? I said, your bed, what is it made out of? She said, Papa, it's made out of wood. Then she said, well, Papa, will this be here forever? I said, but that's based upon what we do as individuals, how we continue to manage the trees in our forest. And so through that process, we've been able to build a relationship around the natural resources that we have. And she's planning all the time, Papa, when I'm gonna get my land and start raising my trees. And so through that process, we're beginning to teach her and her other siblings how to manage our forest lands.
A forest management plan is a tool for achieving specific goals for your land. It's a proactive roadmap that will guide your decisions and provide you with predictable results. You'll select two primary goals for your forest. These might be timber production and wildlife management, or other concerns that you want to achieve for your land. A good bit of science and measurement and knowledge goes into a properly drawn plan. You really need to get professional help to do a proper management plan. You can get help from the Mississippi Forestry Commission or from a natural resource professional. We'll cover the components in more detail later, but it includes a timeline, goals or activities that need to happen at certain times, like thinning a section at a certain point in time, etc. This timeline and the goals you set can be revised over time, but you have to start with a multi-year plan.
This is a 22-year-old soybean field that was abandoned, and I put it in the Conservation Reserve Program, and later we put it in the Stewardship Program.
What we have done is that we have done everything, tried to do everything by the book. We've had a first thin, a second thin, we've burned in here twice, we've come in here with arsenal, and we come in with another burn, and it gives me an excellent track to run on, and that's the way I manage my farm, and that's probably the biggest contribution this stewardship plan has made to me. And every time we do something that enhances timber production, it also enhances wildlife production, because it gives us excellent browse that the deer and turkey love, and my hunters are happy and I'm happy.
You'll sign a creed, an agreement between you and the Mississippi Forestry Commission that you agree to manage according to this plan. The Mississippi Forestry Commission prepares a limited number of plans each year on tracts ranging from 10 to 250 acres. Other tracts will require the guidance of a natural resource professional.
Timber production and conservation go hand in hand. What's good for the tree is good for the land.
Proper management promotes biological diversity. For example, thinning a stand opens up the light to the ground and quickly develops low-growing browse plants, ideal food sources for white-tailed deer, turkey, quail, and other native species. Once you develop a sound, certified plan, you can manage from that plan. It will include specific directions on actions to be taken at certain times. Thinning, spraying, harvesting, replanting, planned out for several years. If your land includes different types of terrain or varied types of trees, there may be different schedules of activities for different sections. Pine is clearly the most popular forest cash crop in Mississippi. Longleaf, loblolly, and slash pines grow in different parts of the state in a wide variety of soil types and matures comparatively quickly versus hardwoods. Hardwood stands mature to harvest over a longer period of time and offer their own benefits: fall colors, excellent food sources for wildlife, etc. Each landowner chooses which type to focus on. Many plans include sections of pine as well as sections of hardwood or mixed pine and hardwood.
Stewardship is about maintaining the health and vigor of the forest. Like we said earlier, what's good for the tree is good for the forest.
Quality vegetative management would include practices such as prescribed burning, mulching, and other proactive measures to improve the health of the forest. Preventing and treating for invasive species is another important practice. There are a number of plants that are undesirable in a forested area and may be treated with sprayed herbicide or other treatments. Some animals are destructive to forest lands, with insect infestations being the worst.
There are a variety of insect pests of trees. Some attack hardwoods, some attack pines. As far as hardwoods, there are lots of different moth species whose larvae or caterpillars eat the foliage. That can stunt the growth, but if it's really, really bad, it could kill the tree. In the wood of a hardwood, there are some beetles that bore in the wood and cause damage to the tree or the wood and could even kill it. Most notably, the long-horned wood borers. Now we need to talk about pines. There are many insects affecting pine trees. For example, the pine tip moth eats the pine needles. And if there's enough of those pine tip moth larvae eating them, it can stunt the growth or even kill the tree. There are some sawfly larvae that can eat pine needles as well. But perhaps of more concern would be the bark beetles. There's lots of different species of these bark beetles that cause damage and death in pine trees. One of the most notorious bark beetles is the southern pine beetle, which you may recall has caused huge outbreaks in the past. Right now it's not much of a problem, but that could change at any time. The southern pine beetle is a bark beetle, and it affects trees that sometimes even appear healthy in a spot or a group. And this can be huge. It can spread to a whole pine stand. Now, one that we've had to deal with lately is the Ips beetle. It's a funny name. It's spelled I-P-S, Ips. Right here's some Ips beetle damage. This tree, over 100 years old, in my backyard in Hinds County, Mississippi, got Ips beetles about a year after Hurricane Katrina and died. We had to have it cut down. Now, the main thing to remember about insects and forest health is who to call if you have a question or a problem or just concerned about your trees. One would be the Mississippi Forestry Commission. They have a forest health specialist. The Mississippi State University Extension Service has a forest health specialist up at Mississippi State. And then Mississippi State University Entomology Department has a forest entomologist. Any one of these people can help you with your problems. So if it crawls, you know who to call.
Your plan will apply best management practices to prevent or reduce these invasive species. Occasionally, invasive species may threaten endangered species. One issue in the South is flying squirrels invading the nesting holes in trees that are created and used by the endangered red-cockaded woodpecker. In some areas that are managed for the woodpecker, flying squirrels are humanely flushed from these holes, trapped, and relocated.
You see, as you manage for a more productive and healthier forest, well, you improve your land for wildlife. Clean air and clean water like this and healthy vegetation just means you can have more animals on any section of your land.
Managing land for sustainable wildlife populations is important to the future, to those young people we will hand this land over to, and to untold generations to come. Let them say that our generation got it right and provided for them to enjoy the bounty and the beauty of the forest, just as we have. Speaking of the future, trees are planet Earth's main air scrubbers, removing carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases and pollutants from the air just as they produce oxygen. Forest lands purify the water and improve the ecosystem overall. Increased wildlife can mean increased hunting opportunity. While you're growing trees, you can earn additional money by leasing the hunting rights out on a seasonal basis. It's gotten to be a big business in Mississippi, and productive land can fetch an attractive price. When managing for wildlife, your plan might include planting food plots or modifying the land to better suit the needs of native creatures. If one of your primary management goals when creating your plan was to manage for wildlife, your plan will include steps to take at periodic intervals to promote this goal.
You know, the recreational benefits in a forest is, well, they're just plentiful. Hunting, fishing, hiking, bird watching, most anything. In fact, time in a forest is just nourishing to the soul.
Some folks love their land for the sheer beauty of it. The aesthetic value alone is a reward for land ownership. That's hard to argue with when you look at a Mississippi forest in peak fall colors. Education is one opportunity that forest lands present. Young people of all ages can find a connection with the natural world, learn about the plants and wildlife that live in our world, and better understand their place in it.
I don't guess, and I don't reckon there's anything more important than the environment. The water we drink, the air we breathe, that affects our well-being, and our children that come after us and our grandchildren. We got to take care of it.
Modern forestry practices actually enhance the forest's ability to purify the air and water. Once again, good stewardship improves both the financial and the ecological impact of the land. Earlier we spoke of BMPs, or best management practices. These are practices that have been tested and proven to best achieve the stated goals. There are many BMPs regarding water quality. Many involve streamside management zones, areas bordering natural waterways where special care is taken to control erosion, sedimentation, or contamination of the natural watershed. Filter strips are areas adjacent to streams where additional trees and vegetation are left intact to protect the water. The use of earthen water bars and other BMPs to reduce and direct runoff really help minimize erosion.
What we've done is we've got a streamside management zone coming right through this little area. And we've put in a low water crossing so you could access it for deer hunters, for your private landowners, for anyone who wants to access to get to the future spot over here. After we finish putting in a low water crossing, we put in water bars. And basically, water bars, they just help slow down the water flow and to help from erosion. And they're really just a good thing to do. If you don't, you'll have problems with erosion, with not being able to access the stand, and it's just really a good thing to do.
Little or nothing is required to benefit air quality. Healthy trees are natural air cleaners. Their integral carbon dioxide cycle reduces greenhouse gases and helps to filter impurities in the air from smoke, highway traffic, emissions, and other sources. If you meet certain requirements, you can sell carbon credits. So you see, good forest stewardship improves the air and water quality.
You know, Mississippi is just covered with ecological sites, important historical sites, even out here in the woods. You're going to have to take these in consideration when you plan to these sensitive areas.
It's not uncommon to walk through a forest area and come across an old cemetery like the one shown here. Indian mounds are also areas of importance that must be protected. This old church, still showing signs of the Civil War cannonballs that tore through its walls, stands in the middle of managed forest land.
My great-grandparents are buried here at the Franklin Cemetery, so they gave this land in the early 1870s, and it's very important to me to do a good job in tree farming because I'm always got them in the back of my mind.
Some areas are home to endangered or protected animals or plants. Here in the Magnolia State, the red cockaded woodpecker and the gopher tortoise are two species that foresters need to be aware of.
You know, getting your forest certified involves meeting certain criteria and a commitment to manage your land in a certain way. So why go to all the trouble to get your forest certified like me? There's a bunch of reasons.
To many people, it's important to know you're doing the right thing. Knowing that when you leave this earth, the land will be better than when you arrived is a wonderful legacy to leave future generations. Good management practices improve your timber yield while benefiting wildlife and the environment. Like we said, what's good for the trees is good for the planet. Another major benefit to certification is that more and more retailers, like Home Depot and others, only accept wood from certified growers. You'll have a wider sales base for your products and often command a better price. Furthermore, certification can make you eligible for additional revenues for things like carbon credits.
From a monetary standpoint, this land that we took out of soybean production and put into CRP, the federal government has paid us a nice income equal to our soybean rent not to put row crops in here. It stopped the erosion. That's number one. Number two, we rent out carbon credits on the Chicago Board of Carbon. Three, we've had one thinning that we got income from. We got a second thinning. Now we're looking at a possible sale of poles. Since Katrina, they don't have as much longleaf on the coast, and I'm hoping we can sell poles as well as have a final cut in here in about 10 years. So all of these add up to a pretty nice income on this piece of property, of course, depending on what the market is at the time.
So, have your property certified by one of many certification organizations. Your stewardship plan is your recipe for certification.
So to get started on your forestry stewardship plan, contact the Mississippi Forestry Commission or a natural resource professional. Your Forest Stewardship Management Plan is your gateway to certification through programs such as the American Tree Farm Systems.
They'll guide you along the way. They'll observe the terrain and soil types and use the priorities you have set to create a step-by-step roadmap to maximize your returns on your property, whether monetary or otherwise. Stewardship is everything you do, from selection of tree types to the timing of activities like thinning, prescribed burns, or replanting. A professional management plan will bring together all of the elements that you bring to bear on your land to bring about the best possible outcome based on your stated goals. Modern forest management using best management practices benefits you by maximizing your financial rewards, improving and preserving the value of your land and other stated goals. It benefits the wildlife by creating a healthier and more robust environment. And it benefits the planet we live on by cleaning the air and water, and by making sure the land will be better when we leave than when we took possession of it.
Get started today. Contact the Mississippi Forestry Commission or a natural resources professional. For more information about forest stewardship programs and other forestry programs, contact the Mississippi Forestry Commission.
Trees are the gift of God, I believe. Trees are the bed in which you lie. They are the coffins when you die. Plant a tree and watch it grow. Plant a tree and watch it grow. Time may come